Hey, everybody, welcome back to When Words Fail Music Speaks podcast, where we fight depression with the power of music. I'm your professional handicapped host, James Cox, and I got another interview today. We're really cranking them out for y'all. I hope you enjoy them. But this time, it's Bernice Marsala. Is that right?
Yep.
I nailed it, because usually I get them wrong, you know?
Oh
So.
yeah, you got it.
Okay, perfect. But let me tell you about her first before we have her on. Miss Bernice is a dynamic singer-songwriter, a classically trained guitarist with a bachelor in music business, originally from Sycamore, Illinois. IL, I guess, yeah. I get confused too. Now living in Nashville, Tennessee, her music journey began with folk and singer-songwriter styles, but has since expanded into alternative and folk rock, crafting a genre-defined sound compared to artists like Michelle Branch and Imogen Heap. Her debut album, Save Me, which 2020 came out, showcased her unique melodic style, with the single Left Behind gaining international attention. She continued to evolve with the breakout success of Little Fires, which is a great song, by the way,
Thank you.
uh, which led to multiple award nominations, including Best Alternative Song in the World Songwriters Awards. Her second album, Burgundy, released in 2023, solidified her reputation, winning Gold Award for Female Album of the Year at the ISSA Awards. With a growing fan base and upcoming releases, Bernice remains to be an innovative force in the music scene. Bernice, that is a lot. We are grateful and honored to have you on the show. How you
No, thank
doing?
you for having me. Yeah, I'm good. How you
Yeah.
doing?
Good. Yeah, we were just recently talking about you about you know you being a little bit under the weather,
hmm
and last week and the week before I had to cancel on you, so I'm so sorry about that. But it happens, you know. So
hmm
it's good that we connected today. Um, you recently went to the ISAA awards this year, right?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
And Katie Gordon, our good friend of mine and yours, he won an award, didn't he, for
He did, yeah.
best radio host or something?
Oh, you
Right,
know what?
best, yeah.
I don't remember if it was radio host or it might have been Issa Rep. Forgive
Yeah,
me, I
yeah.
don't remember what it was.
I
I remember he was the first one.
Yes,
It was the
yes,
first
he is.
category.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
doing amazing things, and I greatly reach out to him and thank you for having you come on, because without him, you know the industry is going into I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, but you won an award on the ISAA a few years ago, right? You won the bronze, if I'm reading it right.
Yeah, last year I won Bronze Songwriter of the Year, and then
Yes.
this year was the Gold Album of the Year.
Okay,
So,
nice. So
mhm.
nice. So you're collecting the awards left and right.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't think I have any. Well, I haven't won awards in a long time. But I was in the Special Olympics way back when, but that was back in the '90s. So I'm old. Yeah, I'm old as hell. So probably anyway. Um, music wise, so can you tell me who is your favorite artist right now?
My favorite artist is as far as like mainstream is the band Shinedown. If you're
Love them.
familiar with them.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I'm,
love
I'm a
them.
huge I'm a huge rock fan,
Yeah. Okay.
and I've been listening to them for probably since I was in middle school or high school,
Right.
and they've just kind of consistently put out music that I love. So
Yes.
I'm very
Yeah.
attached to them.
Right. Yeah. I saw Shinedown a few years ago here in North Carolina, and they and Asking Alexandria opened for them. If you ever heard of that band,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's good. Um, but it says you are a pop singer here on Apple Music, but you like rock. So what made you go from rock music because that's your favorite favorite genre, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you go from being a rock fan to musically do pop music specifically?
Well, I like pop as well.
Okay,
And I feel like as far as the songs I was putting out, it kind of fit that genre a little bit better. Um, and I do have a couple songs that are more rock leaning. But there's definitely always a pop element to them as well. So
right, yeah. Um, yeah, because I think you're. Well, okay. So I was going to talk about it later, but right now, um, Irre- irrelevant is your newest single, right?
mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
and that's just a beautiful song,
thank you.
and I guess it says that don't listen to anybody else. Your opinion is irrelevant because I'm working on myself.
Mm.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That's
All
that's a
right.
synopsis basically.
Yeah. So was that like a personal thing that you experienced in life? People telling you what to do and their opinion that's totally wrong for you, or like
Wait,
not?
yeah. I mean, it was a little personal as far as like, but it was. I mean, it's not something that was directed at like one situation or one scenario. Like it's kind of a collective. You kind of hear that, and I think everybody hears that at some point in their life.
Yeah.
Maybe multiple times, maybe from multiple people. So it
Mm,
was it was like a collective experience
yeah.
that I just kind of put into one song. So
Mm. Well, that song certainly speaks to me because I back in 2017 I moved away from my parents' house. My dad was my dad was against it. My mom wanted me to move out and be on my own. But every now and then I would get opinions, and it seemed like their opinion was irrelevant for me because I knew that this was my only chance to do something. To move out and be who I am
mhm,
instead of worrying about what they are because they wanted me to stay. I'm like, there's nothing for me here.
mhm.
So that's why that song spoke volumes to me. So
But good. I'm glad.
yeah. So your music has evolved from folk and singer-songwriter genres to blend an alternative and folk rock and even pop, right?
Mm.
So what influenced this shift, and how did you decide which directions to take each new project?
I kind of just feel it based on the song and how the project goes, like as I'm doing the recording. Sometimes when I finish a song, I kind of already know the genre that I want it to be in, but sometimes that comes out as the recording happens.
Right.
So it really kind of varies between songs, but I usually don't set out to do a particular genre. I do the song and I'm like, well, this sounds like it's rock, or this sounds like it's folk, or
Right. Yeah. You kind of take from any like every genre and like mix them together and if it comes out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Which is pretty smart because I think the more you're a fan of everything, the more open minded your music is to other people, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So all right. So Little Fires, which is a great song. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um so that seems to be a turning point in your career, gaining significant attention and recognition, which is amazing. It's blowing up for you like we mentioned worldwide. Can you share what the creative process was like for this song, and why you think it's so resonated so strongly with listeners today and worldwide?
Well, that one was kind of my first dive into getting out of the folk genre and getting into the rock genre. And So I think that one just maybe hit a little bit harder than some of my other songs, but like my first album, Save Me, was very I don't want to say somber, but like
Right.
it
Yeah.
had a tone to it.
It was kind of
Um,
mellow.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one was a little more hard hitting, a little more up tempo, and I think
Right. Yeah.
people just really liked it. I also felt like it suited my voice okay.
Yeah.
Um, and So that's kind of encouraged me to do a little more rock since then. But that was a song that just kind of came together really quickly and was just a lot of fun to record. And Yeah, just everything about the process of doing that song was a lot of fun. And
Yeah. Yeah. Today when I got off work, I was listening to Save Me and Burgundy album back to back,
mhm.
and yeah, and you're right. They're two like completely different vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Save Me with the mellow. I guess I was like you coming in the world and say, hey, this is You know, to me, it feels like you were experimenting
Mm.
which one to other people, right?
Yeah.
And then the album Burgundy, you just like one you really grasp on of like what you wanted to deliver to your fans.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Save Me was almost like a soft introduction, and Burgundy's kind of like, I'm here.
Right? Yes, yes.
So
Here I come. Yeah, which is great. Which is great. Oh yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to do something off the wall, and I hope you still like me after this. So I'll go give you some bands, and you tell me which one you like more. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So we got Michelle Branch, Avril Lavigne, uh, Emotion Heap, or Evanescence. And I got those bands because those were listed in your bio. So I know these are your favorite bands, but which one do you resonate with more?
Um,
I know it's hard, isn't it?
Probably if I had to pick one,
Yes.
probably Avril Lavigne, just because like she has the the somber, melancholy kind of thing that she can get, but then she also has a little bit of an edge, and I feel like that's kind of where Burgundy ended up.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess she was your main inspiration for Save Me in Burgundy, right? She had her mellow stuff, and then later on in life she had her.
yeah, I would probably say that style is
Nice.
probably closest to.
Uh, you can't go wrong with Michelle Branch or Evanescence, you know. So
Yeah, no, they're all great for sure. And Evanescence was actually one that somebody else came and told me that I reminded them of Evanescence, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Like that was one that I hadn't thought of
right,
as
nice.
a style comparison. So
I'm
yeah.
I'm not too sure who Emoji Heap is. So can you let me know who he or she is?
She's another one
Okay.
who someone came to me and said that I reminded them of Imogen Heap, and I don't know a ton of her stuff. I know
Okay.
like one song that I really really like, and I haven't done like a deep dive into her. But when I heard that one song, I was like, yeah, I can see that a little bit. But she wasn't one I was really familiar with until recently.
Right. Right. Yeah, so all right. So I'm gonna give you two bands, and then which one would you rather listen to more? Not which
Okay.
is better, because you know it's all you know your
Subjective.
like something. Yes, yes, something. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so you being a fan of all music, I'm pretty sure you know all of these bands, but if not, that's okay. Okay. So we have Incubus and we have the Deftones.
Incubus,
Why? I I
because
like.
I know more of their music than Deftones.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect. Oh, perfect. Okay.
I've
So
heard of Deftones, but I don't know a ton of Deftones. So.
yeah. Well, see, Deftones is kind of not for everybody. You know, they're kind of more mellow, all of their stuff. You know, whereas Incubus they're like up here, down here, up. You know, so they're everywhere on the board, and that's good. Um. So we have Metallica or Megadeth.
Ooh,
Yeah. That's
Metallica.
Metallica. Why?
Yeah. Same reason I know more
You know
Metallica than
what?
I do Megadeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
They're just the unforgettable riffs.
right.
So
Well, yeah, yeah. Megadeth has some good riffs, but I mean, Metallica's got it, you know. But yeah, because when I was a child, Metallica was it for me. You know, nowadays it's Megadeth because they're more consistent. You know,
mhm.
every other year or every year they put out albums. You know, which is great. Um, so I can't think of any other bands, so we're gonna continue on. All right. So we have at least three more questions for you, and I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Um, so you're preparing for another single release soon. Can
Mhm.
you give us a sneak peek about what it is and when it'll be out?
Well, I'm aiming for November.
Okay.
It's done. It's ready to go. I just have like prep to do.
Right.
So it's called Architecture. And I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's
Right. Well,
it's
yeah. Yeah.
it's more of like I would call it kind of like a dark like rock ballad.
Right.
So I'm real excited for that one, and it's very different from Irrelevant.
Right,
So
good, great.
yeah,
Yeah. Go.
I like
Okay,
to I like to keep it interesting.
there we go. There,
So
you're kind of like incubus, right? Always keep us on our feet, you know.
yeah.
So, are we in the state of releasing singles more than albums, or is the album coming out? Because I know more artists are releasing singles instead of full blown albums.
Yeah, I feel like with being in the streaming age, I feel like it's more productive to do single, 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 and just like stay in people's minds.
Yeah.
But then I'll probably do what I did with Burgundy was I released all the singles and then I collected them into an album and then I added some unreleased stuff. So I think I'm going to do that again. So probably everything that I've released this year is going to be on an album, and I'm hoping maybe I can have an album by like 2026.
Nice. Okay.
Um, but
Yeah.
I'll do something similar. Well, I'll release a few singles each year, and then I'll do some unreleased stuff on the album.
Nice. And I mentioned before I saw something behind you that I want to ask you about. Is that a signed guitar right behind you? The white
That
one?
is yeah. So that was
Oh,
a
nice.
guitar that we had at our wedding, and
Oh,
it was our guest book. So all of our guests signed it,
that's so
and
amazing.
yeah.
I would have never thought about that. That is awesome. Yeah.
Thanks.
And I,
And the drum head above it was the same thing, so that's all signed as well.
and those other
So
two guitars are hollow body guitars, or
yeah.
okay, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So was any of those guitars your very first one?
No,
Okay, all right.
I don't think I even have my first guitar anymore because
Oh,
it would have been my very first guitar was like a kid size guitar that was like this big.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then I had an acoustic Takamine that was like black lacquer,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think I got rid of that one when we moved, but
yeah.
I
Oh,
upgraded to a Taylor.
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, because I remember having a Sonic guitar. I don't know if you heard of that brand, but that was an old brand, and the input jack fell into the guitar, and I couldn't
mm,
get it fixed. You know, nobody would.
oh.
Yeah, I got to send it back to the. I'm like, I don't know if they still even exist. You know. Well, okay. So I know I said three more questions, but I got another three more questions for you. If you don't mind, I'm so
Mhm,
sorry.
absolutely.
Okay. Classical guitar. Uh, can you tell me how you learned how to do that? Because I know classical guitar is very different from like learning how to play regular guitar. I guess, right? I mean, is there some kind of similareness or major differences, or
There's no major differences as far as like it's all the same notes and everything and the same strings. Um, as far as like technique, you're using your fingers instead of a pick, and
yeah,
there's different you hold it a little bit differently, and there's different techniques involved in that. So I learned the instrument like guitar itself first, and then I want to say when I went to high school is when I started getting into classical a little bit, and I just took lessons because I had a guitar teacher who taught me guitar, and then I ended up moving to a guitar teacher who specialized in classical, and so I worked with him a lot. And then when I went to college, I did classical there as well.
nice, nice. So is there any like classical guitarists that you could recommend for me and my listeners that are listening right now? Like
Yeah.
who are your
Well, yeah. So my favorite classical composer is Andrew York.
okay?
He's he's much more. I mean, like I also I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate like the classics where people will do arrangements of Bach and arrangements of like Francisco Soar and
Yeah.
those types of composers. But Andrew York is very well. He's living now, so he's not like one of the old like
Right,
classical
right, yeah,
composers. But
yeah,
he's also very modern. So a lot of his compositions like kind of have this modern twist to it, and he's similar in that like it's all classical guitar, but he kind of does a little bit of different styles. So
right.
I really liked his Yamor album. So I would start there because that's my personal favorite. Um, but yeah, so he's
Cool.
probably my favorite currently.
Yeah. All right. And I guess Esteban is everybody's favorite flamenco uh, classical guitarist, right? With all those infomercials, you know. Buy my CD set, you know. I don't know if you remember who Esteban is, but he had these old you know buy my CD collection for 14.99, and I'll teach you how to play.
Yeah, I remember infomercials like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. So he was great. I don't know where he is right now, but cool. Um, my last two questions are gonna be the hardest for you. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So uh, four major bands that you like. Well, count them as the Mount Rushmore of music. You know, who is your Mount Rushmore for bands, artists, or artists? Who would they be?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a tough. Well, I'll say Shinedown because I would say they're my favorite.
Got okay.
Um,
And that's
I would say, oh, that's tough. I never think about that about like who's my favorite.
yeah.
Um,
Shinedown's a good pick. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're very consistent.
Right.
Um, maybe Papa Roach.
Okay. That's oh. I saw them with Papa Roach.
So
Shinedown.
did I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw
Nice.
them
Yeah.
last year. Yeah,
Yeah. Probably the same tour. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might have been.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so they're fresh in my mind
Right.
because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They're awesome. They're amazing. Yeah.
Oh geez, I don't know if I can come up with two more.
Papa Roach and Shinedown. You want to throw Avril Lavigne in there since we took, since you got inspiration from her?
Uh, we might need to if I can't think of
Okay.
anybody else.
Right. Yeah.
And then you know what? I'll just compositionally, I'll say Andrew York.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Andrew York, Shinedown, Papa Roach, and Avril Lavigne. Just cause. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll throw it in there for fun. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Last question is gonna be harder than the one I asked you before. Okay. All right.
That first one was hard.
All right. Yeah, so I'm so sorry about this. No. But okay. So there's many songs where you can listen to them, but you can't tell me, your husband, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, how it makes you feel deep inside your soul. Is there one artist, album, or song that does that for you?
An artist, album, or song that I can't like put into words how it makes me feel.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, their music, their aura is so like you can't explain how it makes you feel deep inside. Yeah.
hmm. You know what? I would have to say, um, the song just because it was the daddy daughter dance at my wedding. So my dad and I danced to it, and it's the song "Fall on Me," and it's Andrea Bocelli and his son. Um, I can't remember his son's name,
Yeah.
but it's a really beautiful song. It's about like like a parent's love for their child, and it's in half Italian, half English. I'm Italian descent,
Right.
so that was kind of like special for us. And it's just a really beautiful song, and like literally every time I hear it, I cry. So like I can't tell you why. I've been married for I think we were going on 5 years this year, so like
Nice.
it's been a long time since.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since like the emotion of being in the moment at the
Right.
wedding,
Yeah.
but that song just still has such an effect on me.
Nice.
So
Well, that's exactly what I wanted. Yeah. So thank you for that. That was amazing. All right. So everybody can go to Bernice Marsala, MARSALA.com, correct? And they can get your merch. Now, do you sell merchandise on your website?
I do have merchandise
Okay.
on my website.
You got shirts and
Yeah, shirts, CDs, vinyl,
Okay.
coffee mugs, things like that.
Ooh, I love coffee. I gotta get me a mug. Yeah. And you're on Instagram, Twitter, X, I guess now.
Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube, all the above, right? You're on every musical platform.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, I guess. I don't know what Deezer is.
Yeah. I don't know that one either, but yeah, I'm on.
Okay. Yeah. And are we on TikTok? I don't see like a TikTok.
I am not on TikTok.
You're not on TikTok. Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure it out. It's weird. So weird.
I know. I'm old.
You're old.
Yeah.
But to be respectful, I'm not going to ask you, but I'm 44 years old, and I feel ancient because when I go in the room, I'm like, why the hell did I come in here? It's like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so so we honestly do love you here on When Words Fail. Please come back anytime you want to. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you. And for everybody that's listening, always remember when words fail, music speaks. Bye, guys.